I got OP text every dawn, and the timestamp always matched the sorting shift start. If you ignore it, it can turn into an account takeover and payments. For a week, almost every day around 3:15 a.m., I got 2 codes back to back. The text literally said password reset code, so I screenshot it. My first check was the security page. I opened recent sign-in attempts. It showed 3 failed logins at 3:16 a.m. and my stomach dropped. My second check was changing the password and switching the sign-in method. Even after that, at 3:30 a.m., another code arrived with a new device enrollment alert. Here is the creepy part. My sorting shift starts at 3:30 a.m. And when I put my time card log next to the texts, the machine start time and the OP times matched to the minute. The cause was repeated password resets using phone numbers visible during the shift, aimed at people asleep at dawn. I changed every password, turned off SEMS codes, reported it with activity screenshots, and it stopped. Tip: never share oppers and check sign-in history first. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. At 23:17, my phone showed no service, and 8 password reset emails hit at once. I toggled airplane mode and reseated the SIM, but the message stayed exactly the same. Someone next to me had 3 signal bars, but mine was dead, so it did not look like an outage. Within 5 minutes, it reached 14 emails. So I did not click links and checked recent sign-in activity only. On Wi-Fi, I changed my email password and hit sign out everywhere, then found one auto-forward rule turned on. The cause was a number hijack onto another SIM, and the fix was carrier locks plus switching from SS to an authenticator app. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. If a lost item alert repeats while you always drive alone, it might not be a harmless glitch. On the day it popped up 3 times, I opened safety and hit scan for unknown trackers. The results showed a travel path, and the last detection was right after I parked. Play, sound, did nothing. So I checked the cabin first, starting with floor mats and the trunk. If it is not inside, it is outside. So I used a flashlight on the wheel well and behind the bumper. The cause was a small tracking tag taped inside the bumper, and I ended it by documenting it first, then disabling it. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. Only one cafe seat kept cutting my earbuds, and my own call voice came back as static. I had to verify it because it can cause call misunderstandings or accidental leakage. First time was at 2:07 p.m. when the call timer hit 23 seconds. The moment a banner said, Bluetooth disconnected, I took a screenshot. I tried to reproduce it, and at the same seat, it dropped 3 times within 2 minutes. My check was simple. I opened the Bluetooth device status page and started screen recording. The creepy part was hearing my own words bounce back with a tiny delay. In the recording, the call audio route briefly switched from earbuds to speaker, then back. Second loop was a seat move test. 2 steps away, it stayed stable for 10 minutes. The moment I came back, it dropped again, so I pinned it to that spot. Cause was local wireless interference. When nearby devices flood the 2.4 GHz band, Bluetooth can drop and calls can glitch. I solved it by switching seats and repairing, and my tip is to screen record instantly to capture the audio route change as proof. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. Unknown navigation screenshots kept saving in my gallery. If you ignore it, your home area can leak through the evidence. First, I checked the timestamps, 6 in a row at 2:17 a.m. I screenshotted the file details and zoomed in to confirm the exact same route. Next, I ruled out accidents first. An accessibility gesture can trigger screenshots. In settings, double tap was set to screenshot, so I turned it off immediately. But the next day at 11:03 a.m., one more appeared. I checked my account devices, and an unknown device showed a login from 2 days ago. The cause was a linked unknown device plus photo sync, so root captures flowed into my gallery. I signed it out, changed my password, and disabled screenshot folder sync. Tip: always capture timestamps and device list first. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. In 2 weeks, only my mailbox name label got peeled off 3 times, and thin clear tape was left behind. That is a check now situation. On the first night at 11:12 p.m., I took a photo and marked a tiny dot on the tape edge with a pen. It was my simple tamper check. 2 days later at 8:47 am, the dot was gone and the tape was clearly replaced. Same spot, different sunshine. I reported it to the building office, then checked the shared entry log line that showed my mailbox floor opened at 2:17 am. It was a real timestamp, not a vibe. After that, even when my mail alert said delivered, my slot was empty one time. The missing name label made it easier to redirect or grab by mistake. The cause was someone trying to steal mail by hiding my name and covering their handling with clear tape, so I switched to an inside-mounted label and reissued my entry tag. Quick tip, use initials only on the visible label. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. If a doorstep package keeps changing position, you can lose it or accuse the wrong person. When the status says delivered, save a screenshot first. Day 1, it was there at 9:10 p.m., but in the morning it was pushed beside the door. I opened the door camera app and checked the motion log first. The log showed a single human silhouette at 3:18 am. I paused the clip, zoomed into the floor, and the tone nudged the box on purpose. Day 2, I added one more check and laid a thin sheet of paper by the threshold. At 7:32 am, the dust showed the same shoe tread, crisp and repeated. On day 3, I raised the alert sensitivity by 1 step and set the detection zone to the floor only. Then at 2:57 am, I got 2 alerts and the same shoes only repositioned the box. The cause was a repeat approach to test your reaction before stealing, and I sent the clip plus the tread photos to the building manager. Quick tip, save the delivered screen and motion log in the same folder every time. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. If an emergency stair door looks closed but stays ajar, that is the scariest kind. It also breaks the fire door's job of blocking smoke. Around 2 am, I thought the door was shut, but my toe hit something. 2 folded flyer scraps were wedged under the door. I checked it in 2 simple steps. I tugged the handle lightly, then slid the paper out. The door instantly popped open just a little. It wasn't a one-time thing, it happened 3 nights in a row. The shared notice screen kept logging a stair door open warning every dawn. One line on the building board stuck with me. Fire doors must stay closed, propping them open is forbidden. So I photographed the paper wedge as proof. In the end, the cause was simple. Someone wanted the stairwell as a quiet route, so they made the door look closed while keeping it open. I sent the logs and photos, asked for a door closer check and door open alerts, and my tip is to scan the door bottom today. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. My card showed 1 extra entry at 10:46 p.m. If you ignore this, it can turn into a break-in suspicion or a real security incident. First, I checked if I was even outside then. My phone location history screenshot shows I was already inside the building from 10:45 p.m. Next, I checked the guard duty board, and that is when it got weird. The night shift slot, 10:00 p.m. to 6:00 am, was literally blank, so I took a clear photo. So I asked management for the original access log in 2 simple steps. I got a complaint ticket number, then requested a printed export of the last 24 hours. The key detail was 2 entries, 3 seconds apart, for the same card. There was a small note that said resend, so I circled that line and photographed it as evidence. The cause was a controller resend rule that duplicated log lines during a communication glitch, plus a missed entry on the night duty roster. I requested a card reissue and a settings check, and my tip is to enable entry alerts and save a monthly log export. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. If only your floor button feels sticky in an elevator, do not brush it off. More than the residue, it can turn into suspicion about who touched it. At 11:40 that night, only that button dragged against my fingertip. I flashed my phone light and saw a clear edge slightly lifting off the surface. Before washing my hands, I wrote a quick note. The floor position and the time of the sticky residue gave me something concrete to compare the next day. Around 8 the next morning, I pressed it again, and the surface looked more wrinkled. A dust line along the edge made lifted film seem more likely than a fresh handprint. Before noon, a fresh office notice appeared on the board. It said elevator button protective film replacement from 9 to 11 in the morning, and everything finally matched. The cause was not a person doing something strange, but aging button film leaving tacky residue as it lifted. The fix was checking the notice and the edge first, and the tip is simple: use your flashlight before guessing. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. If a hallway sensor light turns on 2 or 3 steps late only in front of you, you need to check it fast because it can cause a fall or a bad misunderstanding. It happened around 11 at night for 3 days in a row. So I first crossed the hallway sideways once and then walked straight at the sensor again. It switched on right away when I moved sideways but lagged by a beat when I walked straight. So I saved 2 phone clips and checked the sensor face before blaming the angle. Up close, there was a clear strip of tape about the size of a fingernail on the upper part of the sensor lens, and a phone flashlight showed a cloudy edge where it was covered. I did not peel it off right away. I took one photo first and checked the maintenance note, which showed a cleaning mark from 2 days earlier but no inspection check. The cause was a thin strip of tape blocking the sensor face. After saving proof, removing it, and asking for a recheck, the light started turning on within 1 step that same day. If a hallway light acts strangely, record 1 straight pass and 1 side pass first because it makes the cause much easier to spot. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. Only the underground garage left an impact clip, and in it, someone pointed a flashlight at the plate. If I ignored it, I could be blamed first for a hit or a plate issue. First, I reopened the parking list in order. Only the 1:40 a.m. clip was marked as an event, and the normal parking footage before and after was completely missing. So I checked the parking settings next. Motion detection was off and only impact recording was on, which meant wandering nearby would not save unless the car was physically shaken. Then I had to find what triggered the impact. Frame by frame, the rear bumper dipped once, and in the very next moment the flashlight swept across the plate twice. Last, I checked the power log and the plate screws together. There was 1 low voltage cutoff at the same time, and 1 screw on the plate frame had a fresh metal scrape. In the end, someone had checked and touched the plate, but the long clip never stayed because power cutoff stopped parking recording. I photographed the plate right away and reset parking power, and the best tip is to capture the log screen before anything else. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. If the god already knows your plate and the resident list shows another unknown car with it, you need to check whether access rights got tied to your unit. At around 8:30 that night, the guard said my plate first before I spoke. It felt off, so I asked to see the printed resident vehicle list for my unit. Right next to my plate, there was another number I had never seen before. I took a photo of that line and compared every digit with my parking registration card. Then I asked them to check the last week of entry logs, and that plate had entered 3 times after 1 in the morning with the status marked as resident. I saved that screen too. When I asked them to reopen the original registration form, the reason finally showed up. A previous residence visitor car had never been deleted and only the unit information had been updated. So the cause was leftover registration data, and I fixed it by getting that plate removed and a written confirmation of the update. If this happens to you, secure the list photo, 1 log screen, and the form copy first. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. Around 11 at night, the floor gave a faint vibration. If I did not check the cause, it would easily turn into a misunderstanding with upstairs. So I placed a phone with a vibration meter app on the floor. The log saved a peak value of 0.03 with exact timestamps. The log showed the vibration repeating every 3 minutes around 11. I checked the hallway elevator indicator time beside the door. That's the H time. Every time the indicator moved, the floor vibrated again. The log time 11:12 matched the elevator movement exactly. The cause was not upstairs noise but vibration from the elevator motor. Place a sensor app on the floor and compare the log time with elevator movement. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. Around 3:17 a.m. a plastic rustling sound kept coming from the front door, and ignoring it could mean someone was testing when the place was empty. The same blue thread showed up under the door for 3 straight nights. So I took 1 threshold photo at 11:50 m and compared it every morning. On the 4th morning, the thread had shifted about 3 centimeters, and a folded flyer wrapper was left by the door, which meant someone had touched it directly. So I checked the building log, and hallway movement was recorded between 3:16 and 3:18 a.m. on 2 nights, with a note that said bag for leaflet delivery. For one last check, I placed a tiny paper strip under the handle, and it only snapped on Tuesday and Thursday nights when I got home late. In the end, it was someone using leaflet delivery as cover to test occupancy with thread and plastic, and it stopped right after a report and a camera warning sticker. One useful tip is to save one dated photo of the door threshold each night. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe.